Hello, my most amazing artist. So my desk might look different because this is my desk in the art room because we are back at school. But for my NTI friends, I'm going to let you know what we're going to start in kindergarten this week. So this week we are going to start our unit on shapes. And at the bottom of this assignment, there should be a read aloud of when a line bends, a shape begins. And it's one of my favorite books to talk about how shapes are formed. I like how the muscle guy bends a straight line and makes a circle. So we know all about line. We talked about color before we left. And now we're going to talk about shape. So we're working through those elements of art. Color, line, and now shape. And we know a lot about shapes in kindergarten. And this book is going to tell us all kinds of things about fun shapes. And we're going to spend some time in class looking for shapes, playing some I Spy, and talking about our favorite shapes. Then we're going to get out some colorful construction paper, and you might recognize these colors. What are these three colors? If you remember all the way back before break, our red, yellow, and blue are our primary colors. And when you start mixing primary colors together, you get secondary colors. So we're kind of going to keep the theme of working with these colors, but we're going to use these colors to create shapes that we know, and we're going to practice drawing our shapes. So you don't have to use all 6 colors. You can use whatever colors you want, and since you're at home, if you don't have these right colors, that's okay too. The only thing I want to make sure is whatever colors you use for your paper, you need to have the same marker to match, because we're going to do something with the marker another week. So one of the first shapes I think we all really know how to do, really easy, and it's easy to cut, is a rectangle or a square. And you won't even have to draw this first, because if you take a pair of scissors and just do a nice straight cut, boom, you have a rectangle, right? And if you want to try and make a square, remember squares are about the same size on all sides, you can make a square too. So rectangles and squares I'd like to see. I would also like to see you cut out some triangles. So remember, a triangle has 3, can you see that? I'll get my Sharpie. You will do this in pencil. So if you need to draw, we'll use red. If you need to draw your shape before you cut it, that's absolutely okay. So you get your triangle and you can draw a couple of them. Let's do maybe 2 or even 3, and they can be the same size or different sizes. I like a variety, but that's my choice. So once you have squares or rectangles, let's do like 3 squares or rectangles, and they can be in any color you want. And then I'm going to do triangles in a different color. And I'm going to cut them, and I'm going to cut off that line, so I'm just going to carefully cut. So we're going to really work on drawing and cutting, okay? So remember, when we cut, our scissors stay still, and we just open and close it, and we turn the paper with our other hands. We don't want you flapping your scissors around like a chicken wing, all right? So watch when we cut. I'm going to cut, and then I'm going to turn my paper with my non-scissor hand. We always want to use our scissors away from us, so I have those shapes. And you can keep the scraps because we can use them for something else, or if you make an oops later. So I think this rectangle might be too big, so I am going to make it a little bit smaller. So now I turn the 1 into 2. So I have 3 squares or rectangles. I have 3 triangles. Let's do some circles. Now, some people can cut out your circle, and some people need to draw them first. So cutting a circle can be tricky. So we're going to draw several. So I'm going to draw maybe 3 or 4 circles to give me practice. And I can always add, if I mess up, I can always cut more because I'm not using the whole paper. Notice I'm starting drawing my shapes towards the side and not right in the middle because we want to make sure we don't waste all that paper in the center. So I have different sizes. So again, I'm going to keep my scissors still. I'm going to cut, and I'm going to turn my paper, not my scissors, okay? So I'm cutting and turning, cutting and turning. And this is going to be slow because we don't want a choppy circle. So I'm just going to open my scissors and bring down. And I'm bringing my scissors down. I'm turning that paper with my non-scissor hand. And sometimes we cut a circle. It gets smaller than we thought, and that's okay. So go ahead and cut out 4 circles. So I want to see squares or rectangles, either one, triangles, and circles, because between those three shapes, you can pretty much draw anything. Now, if your circle ends up more like an oval, that's absolutely okay. So we're gonna do these three shapes. Now, I'm choosing to do the primary colors because that just makes sense to me. If you wanna do a mixture of colors between the primary and secondary, that's okay too. I just know I have my primary color markers in front of me, so I'm gonna do that. So you want to have 3 triangles, 3 squares or rectangles, 3 different triangles, and 3 or 4 circles. Now this one I don't like as much, so I'm going to probably not use that one. So I have my shapes. And I'm not sure if this is as far as your class is going to get today or not. But I want you to go one step further. We're going to be using a 10 by 14 inch paper. So it's a little tall. And we want it to go vertical. So remember, vertical is when it's tall like a tower. So what I want you to do is take your shapes and we are going to kind of sprinkle them all over our paper. Now, you can keep all the same kind of shapes together if you want, spread out, however you want, or like that's fine. I want to have white paper between my shapes. I'm not making a picture, I'm making just some abstract or non-representational art. I'm just kind of making a balance. So I'm putting them, or if you want to kind of mix up your colors and have them going all over, again, it's artist's choice. Whatever feels right to you. Maybe I'll put that up here and that here. So you can have fun and decide. The only thing I ask is you have white paper going all the way around each shape. So if you made a shape that's really big and they don't all fit, you might need to trim them down a wee bit. Once you have your shapes the way you like them, Mrs. Cole's gonna go back. I like her colors together. I tried. I want all my colors together. I have issues. All right, so I'm gonna keep my colors together because that makes me happy, but you do what makes you happy as the artist. But don't spend too much time. Mrs. Cole's getting a little silly. All right. I have white paper going all the way on each shape, and now I'm gonna glue this down, and we're gonna use glue stick in class. So when you use a glue stick, you wanna take it off your paper, glue the bottom, and then put it down and give it a quick massage, and do that for all your shapes. And that's it for today. Next week, we'll talk about what we're gonna do with these markers. So cut out 3 circles, 3 triangles, 3 squares or rectangles in 3 different colors. We're having primary and secondary colors in class to choose from, but use whatever colors you have at home. So I'm looking for 3 shapes, 3 colors, and 3 of each. We're doing a lot of 3. And then know where those matching marker colors are for next week. And that's it. I can't wait to see your shape collages, and I will talk to you next week. Goodbye, my most amazing artists.